Thuvs. This is Natalia, and I'm making a video about what it's like for me to live with an ileostomy. What is an ileostomy, Natalia? You may ask. You could Google it. I'll let you know. So, when a person has had their large intestines removed due to issues, health issues, ulcerative colitis, just a very taxed large intestines, and it just needs to be removed from the body, and then the body will thrive again without the heaviness or the pain of the large intestines having gone through so much illness. So, when a person has had their large intestines taken out, okay, this is my experience. I've done some research, but I don't know everything about this. And this is what I do know that I can share. If there's any ostomates out there and you want to leave a comment or clarify about something, please do. Ostomates, that's what us ileostomy and colostomy people call each other. We're ostomates. And so, when a person has had their large intestines taken out, if it's been removed completely and there's only a rectum left, then a person will have an ileostomy more than likely for the rest of their lives. If a person has had their large intestines removed and say there's about 4 inches of healthy large intestines connected to the rectum, then a person has an ileostomy for about 6 months to heal from the removal of the large intestines and to let the abdominal wall heal. So after 6 months, so a person will have an ileostomy for 6 months, and then they will have a surgery afterwards, or even longer than that. They might wait a little longer, and they will have an ileostomy reversal surgery and be reconnected again. They will reconnect the small intestines to the remaining large intestines that is connected to the rectum, so a person can poop out of their butt again. Ileostomy also, I don't know the exact definition, but this is what happens. When a person has their large intestines removed, and a person has ileostomy, whether it's for 6 months or for life, this is what they do. They take the small intestines, they reroute it to the lower front of the abdomen. In the case of the ileostomy, it'll be on more than likely the right side. I'm sure it could possibly be on the left. In my case, it's the right side. They will make a hole at the bottom of the abdomen, and they will poke out the tip of the small intestines, and they will stitch it into place, and that will heal. And then like an adhesive type of sticker with a hole to go over the bit of the small intestines poking out of the abdomen, goes over that, and then there's an area for a bag to be clipped onto it, and that is how the person defecates, poops, goes to the bathroom, instead of going out of the back. And then what happens to the back? I don't know what happens when the person only has a rectum left. I don't know if they sew it up, but I know that if a person has a little bit of intestines left, that gets sewn up. And you'll still feel like you have to go poop out of your butt. You'll still have those muscle contractions, but you won't have to. And it's quite an altered experience to not poop out of your butt, I must say. So for me, the last 7 months of my life, I've had this ileostomy with I change my appliance, as it's called, every 5 days, which is the bag and the sticker that it sticks to my body to stay. Sometimes I can wear a belt that clips and it holds it up really well, and sometimes I don't. And so what's it like for me to live with an ileostomy instead of going to the bathroom out of my butt normally like most people, and like I used to? Well, I'll start off when I was a child. When I was a child and I had ulcerative colitis, my mom, who was a nurse, would say to me that if people had ulcerative colitis and it got out of hand, that a person would have a bag on the side of their body and their butt would get sewn up. That's what she would say. She would make it sound very scary and very negative. So I grew up with that image of it. And I never knew it was called an ileostomy or a colostomy. A colostomy is when a person has some of their large intestines remaining, but most of it has been taken out, and they have a bag. The one person I met that had a colostomy had their bag on the left side. I have mine on the right. Okay. Also, when I was going into the first surgery and the surgeon said, "You're going to have a bag for the rest of your life," what did I do? I screamed, "Ah, no!" I had this bad image of an ileostomy bag. That was my first reaction. And it didn't happen the first surgery. Well, they took out the first 2/3 of the large intestines, and when I had the second surgery, then they took out the last 1/3 of the large intestines, and then I had some time to just sit with it. I actually had woken up from the first surgery thinking, okay, this is it, I'm going to be different from here on. And the surgeon, when I woke up, was like, "Oh, you're the same. We didn't, you don't have an ileostomy." But when I had the second surgery, I knew very well that I was going to have one, and when I woke up from the second surgery, I knew it was there. And it's just like, okay, this is new. My body's been altered. My body has changed, and now there's a bag here, and I don't exactly know what it looks like or how to take care of it because I hadn't really looked at it yet. And when the nurses were taking care of me, I would peek over and look, and I accepted it. But it took a while for me to adjust to having it, to adjust to looking at it, to see the tip of my small intestines poking out of my abdomen. And that's where the poop shoots out, and there's no sphincter, so it just rolls right out. And so you have to have a bag at all times because you can't stop it. Your sphincter's in your butt. Ileostomies don't have that, so the poop just shoots out into the bag. And so when I first had it, I accepted that that's how it was going to be. And then it took me about 2 months to get comfortable thinking about how much surgery I'd had, how my body had been altered, just the whole 2 months in the hospital experience. And of course just processing all of what I'd been through, and then to go also at the same time, wow, my body's changed. And so there were times when I would cringe when I would look at it's called a stoma. The tip of the small intestines that sticks out of the abdomen where you poop with as an ileostomate is called a stoma. So it took quite a while for me to look at my own stoma. I had to change my bag, so I had to look at it, but it was a while before I got really comfortable, and I was just like, wow, and I could relax while changing my bag. And then after I was comfortable with it, then I started telling people in my life about it. The thing is that it's not bad at all. Of course, it's certainly your perspective. Some people get ileostomies and they hate it because they're not normal, per se. And it's the new normal. And there is this whole, stigma with ileostomy bags, colostomy bags, the bag. Do you have the bag now? Oh, you have the bag. And it's just people act like they're so down on the bag, and it's not even a bad thing. Think about it from my point of view that I offer. It's so much easier to deal with a life that's pain-free, because ulcerative colitis is very painful. And even sometimes the symptoms are painful. In my case, yeah, it was. It's way easier for me to live with an ileostomy bag and to have that responsibility than to have had an illness or a disease that was painful to top it all off. This actually serves relief, It is, normally I would wear my pants right at below at the hip and show my navel. And then when you have an ileostomy bag, a lot of people cover it up, and it took a while for me to adjust on how to fit my clothes. I just certainly didn't want to talk about it when I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for feedback from people, and I wasn't ashamed of it, but not ready to flash it around either. And so there's definitely this movement about showing your bag. And at this point, I'm just comfortable with it. I'm not worried about it at all, about it sticking out or being seen or anything like that. I mean, the way the bags are made, the ones that I have, they are opaque, so you never see what's going on inside the bag as well. And there's no smell. Everything's contained very, very well. And there's this responsibility that comes with it of just the way that you change your bag and the products that you use. Like I get products on a monthly basis, and you have to make sure that you have enough. You have to make sure that you have them with you, and you got to bring them with you. You got to learn how to prepare ahead, like for a plane ride or anything. And so, yeah, and when you go to the bathroom, you just open the bag and just squeeze out the contents, and then, clean the tip of the bag, and then just close it and tuck it back in. People are like, oh, you'll never have to buy toilet paper again. It's like, no. Instead of wiping your butt, you wipe your bag. I'm still healing from these 3 surgeries, and so people who have fully healed and recovered from their ileostomy surgery and their abdominal wall is completely healed, they can function like normal people. I mean, they may qualify as disabled, more than likely, but it's a functional one. You just have to really be careful with making sure that the area where your stoma sticks out, that is always a safely protected area. Like, you don't want your seatbelt holding over it or your clothes like squeezing onto it. You always want to make sure that that area is comfortable, and you want to make sure that you do activities that are safe regarding your stoma, because like the tip of your small intestines is sticking out right there. So gotta look out for that. Absolutely. At this point, I am still just I feel good. I feel blessed. I feel grateful to have my life and my health, and my abdominal wall is still healing, and I still, am just in that part of my journey. But this is all that I can really think of when it comes to my ileostomy journey. I still function normally. I just have a different responsibility to look out for, is what it is. And I feel that that's all I'll share for now. That's all I can think of, because my journey is still new. Yet, a new chapter is on the way as well. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for being such a good audience. Love you lots. And see you in the next video.